Good morning, everyone. Welcome to New Thought Center. Thank you so much for the music this morning by Mia, Margaret, Angelique. We're going to open our service with a reading out of our Science of Mind. If Ramona could come and read for us.
Good morning, everybody. Is there volume here? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. There. Can you pull it back a little bit? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New Thought. It's really great to be here in Kona and on this lanai with the people here and the people all around internationally. Good morning, Jin An. So this is from the magazine called Science of Mind. And this one is called I Am Truly Grateful. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Thich Nhat Hanh. In, in everything, gives thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Ernest Holmes, from The Science of Mind. Many self help gurus recommend a gratitude practice, yet I hear from clients that it doesn't work. I think this is because we misunderstand gratitude. As young children, we're taught to say thank you when we receive something. However, we're not taught anything about feeling thankful or grateful. Thus, saying thank you becomes a rote response without inner feeling. When we start a gratitude practice, we might make a list of things we think we should feel grateful for rather than what we are actually grateful for because we can't sense the difference. To create a meaningful gratitude practice, take a moment at the end of your day to list 3 things that happened that day for you which you feel grateful. They don't have to be big, but make them real things. Several years ago, my wife and I started a nightly gratitude practice. Just before we go to sleep, we each say what we are grateful for that day. At first, I couldn't find much, but what happened was I began observing my life more closely and found there were many things for which I was grateful. Seeing the blue heron in the creek, catching a glimpse of the neighborhood coyote, drinking a good cup of coffee, seeing the smile of my wife when I wake up. If you already have a gratitude practice that works, great. If not, try this. At the end of each day, speak out loud 3 things you are grateful for that day. Watch your gratitude multiply. And here's the affirmation, which I will read first all the way through and then break up so that you can repeat after me. Today, I am grateful to be alive. I give thanks for all I notice in my life that astounds and amazes me. Today, I am grateful to be alive. I give thanks for all I notice in my life that astounds and amazes me. And so it is. Amen.
And now let's all join in meditation. And Mia is going to do a little harp for us as we do our meditation. I will finish with the chime. We now are going to have some music from Mia Margaret Angelique. She has several different instruments that she plays. She let me know that she's a world traveled artist who has 15 CDs, and she's very talented in what she produces, and we really appreciate listening to her. If you wouldn't mind giving us a song.
I love to. Mhm. Okay, this is called Raining Blessings. So if everyone, you can either close your eyes or look around for blessings and feel the blessings within, and just imagine that there are blessings every moment, and think of all the blessings and everything there is to be grateful for as we inhale love and we exhale gratitude. So inhaling love, exhaling gratitude.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I want to welcome everyone to New Thought. We have been recognized as a center since 1971, at which time we had a full time minister. But eventually we became um, less involved with having a single person speak. We are inclusive in our what we do present on every Sunday morning. We've had Buddhist monks, we've had speakers who present Christianity. We've had speakers who have done Muslim type of introduction to us. So we are diversified and inclusive. If anyone is wondering what our background happens to be, we are welcoming everyone here. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Well, that's good. We can all welcome each other to our center. And we are going to have another song if Mia would like to give it to us.
Thank you so much. I brought quite a few instruments with me. I do sound healings also. Oh, okay. Is that you can? Okay, cool. Okay, maybe this one here. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I think I've got it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, I brought multiple instruments with me, and I do. Oh, a little higher. Okay. Oh, is that good? Can everyone hear me now? Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Thank you, Stephen. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um, then I'm going to do a sound healing for everyone. And if you just want to close your eyes, and as I'm doing it, remember that we are all love, loved, loving, lovable. We're love itself. There's no lack of. If we miss one type of love, then there's always another type. We have divine love, universal love. We have planetary love, nature love, friendship love, family love, self love. So we can always focus on the love within our hearts. With every breath, we feel the love going through trillions of cells in our bodies. So we can enjoy every moment, knowing there's always love in many forms and in the formless. So if everyone would like to just relax, and I'll be playing different instruments, and I wanted to tell you that this is all a gift. Every sound is a particular frequency of love. And so if you just realize that it's especially for each one of you, that every single note and sound is here to nourish the 22 trillion cells in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits. And it's going through each one of us and the spirit within our beautiful temple bodies, and also out to the universe. So we're doing it for ourselves, but for our planet and for our universe. Okay, thank you for this beautiful energy of love and light beings that we all are. We are the earth angels. So just enjoy every moment, please.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. We really appreciate. We will have one more song before the end of the our service. Now I'm asking people to come up and share miracles and ordinaries with us. I'm sure we do have some. Good, Ramon.
um, so every time I come to Kona from Seattle, around the time of Mary Monarch, my daughter and I and the kidlings go on a road trip to Hilo. Sometimes we take the south route. Um, Lots of times we just take the saddle road. So this time it was the saddle road, and between the last time we were there a year ago and this time, my daughter has discovered a place in Hilo where there are two women who have a tiny little mochi store where they make handmade mochis, and they're amazing, and very tasty. So we stopped there. We put our order in and planned to come at the end of the day. Uh, in order to pick them up before we left for Kona side. So, anyways, I was really looking forward to the craft fair and the music and the dancing over at Mary Monarch, um, when they have it, in the daytime. And I also had this desire to connect with two women friends. Well, one is my cousin from the Belau Islands. Um, and one is a musician friend of mine from Oahu who also is involved in making these extraordinary leis with the little teeny tiny sea snail shells from we first learned about them, I think, like decades ago, from Ni'ihau they were became famous. So anyways, I'm in the main building, and my two grandboys are kind of taking me on a adventure, which we hadn't ever done before. And they're older, so I kind of trust them more now. So we went up in the bleachers, and we were looking down on the inside of the auditorium, where all the crafters are. And I was looking for my friend Oana. Really couldn't see her. Later on, I kept, she was in my mind, and but I was then taking the boys around doing sort of a nanny granny thing, and all of a sudden I just came around this corner, and the boys were like, charging ahead, and I was sort of following them, and this woman suddenly appears in front of me, a tall woman, like maybe in her late 20s or early 30s, and I just went, Oana, like that. But it wasn't Oana, it was her daughter, who I have hardly ever seen, because she was growing up on Oahu, but she had such the look of her mom that, and it was so like present in my mind to connect with Oana. So she looks at me because she doesn't really recognize me, and she goes, no. And then she says, and and then Oana was right there, right behind her, just came right up. She had been totally hidden by her daughter or something. I don't know. It was amazing. It was sort of like she just popped up. It was miraculous in that way. And so we had a wonderful just embrace and, kissing and, but she was her doing her nanny granny thing. So she was following her daughter to go connect with the baby grandchild. So that was like one amazing thing, that connection. And then later on, I did have I was in another building where they were selling clothing and, other beautiful handmade crafts. And I was alone. I had separated from my family and was just taking my own time. And I was coming up a walkway, and all of a sudden there was my Belau cousin, And this was a miracle too, because for 2 years, I have heard nothing from her. And we were always emailing and talking on the phone and speaking Belawan to each other. And something happened. I tried to find out what it was. It hasn't been revealed yet. So I've had this sadness, and there she was, right there, so bright and so beautiful, exuding a lot of sweet energy. She's been a meditator for, like, I don't know, 30, 40 years. And so we had a connection. We had a reconnection. And that to me felt like a healing. So I was really grateful for that. Thank you. That was a very long sharing. Thank you.
Steve.
So this is somewhat about connection also. Connection with nature. Um, about 8 years ago, I planted a Rollinia tree, and for like 5 years, it did nothing. It grew well, but it never produced. And then over since then, it's been producing here and there and stuff. And like this season was kind of over, but there's was one Rollinia left that I'm watching. And the other day, it started turning yellow, and then the next day, it was more yellow, and then I forgot about it. I forgot to pick it. But then I finally remembered, like a couple of days later, and went out there. And this Rollinia, I don't know if you've ever, most of you probably don't even know what they look like. It's round, it's got like fingers sticking out from it, about this long all over, like bright yellow fingers, and they're all rubbery. And inside, it's all white and creamy with black seeds. It's closely related to a cherimoya and a soursop. So it's like somewhere in between there. Anyways, it was the biggest one I've ever seen, which was amazing, and it weighs 7.5 pounds, and it's also the best tasting one that I've had in all this time. So it's a minor miracle.
Thank you, Stephen. So this morning, I would like to present our speaker. Janan is a master Tai Chi presenter, and he's also in his past life, even though he didn't didn't pass away and come back, he just lived a couple of different lives in one life. He was an animator and an artist in Hollywood. He received an Emmy and a Clio for his art in animation. He did work on Tron and Dora the Explorer. When he came to moved to Hawaii in 2016, since then he has been teaching at several of the different schools teaching art and animation. His other life that he's lived at the same time, he was born into a family of Tai Chi masters and Kung Fu, and he did start studying all of this at an early age. He is now giving us a weekly Tai Chi session on Monday from 4:30 to 5:30, where he's doing Tai Chi and Qigong. We're trying to learn that. He's very patient with us. He has his family. He was working under his uncle, Master Guk Gon, at the Tashan Tai Chi Academy in China, and he also studied in Los Angeles. So I'm going to let him start talking, so I don't have to say any more of those words. And he's going to explain his recent illness, and I think it's really exciting because we did have a Western doctor. And I can say this because I've worked in hospitals since I was 17 and I'm going to be 77. So I have been around a few Western doctors, and he has been recognized for what happened with him by a Western doctor of
Mhm.
medicine.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate a little bit of Tai Chi so you can get a feeling for it. That was is this on? Yeah. That was just a little bit of the set that I teach. It's a short form. It's called the Eight Treasures. Usually, Tai Chi is well, it's 108 movements. It takes about 45 minutes to do. Although when I went to visit my uncle in China, he said Americans don't have the patience, so he taught me the eight. And but before I learned the eight, he said, "Well, make sure you know the 108 and the 78 and the 48 and the 24. Then we'll teach you the eight," which took me about a month before I got to the eight. And so I brought it back, and he said, that's something that people can grasp because it only takes 5 minutes to do. So I came back, and this was back in 1990 something in LA, and I was teaching it there. And I got a nice little group of people, and it was fine. It was very integrated, but I wanted to add more to it. So I started putting in together warm ups, which I collected through the years from different martial arts, Jack LaLanne, I mean, all these different places. And then I started adding in Qigong, which I also studied in the early 90s. And I found it was a nice combination of short forms, which is what I call short forms for long life. And I call the system Tai Chi Tao. So that's what I teach on Mondays. What I'd like to do is, because Tai Chi is really more about doing than talking, so I'd like everybody to get up, and I'm going to show you the very first warm up that I do, which I discovered when I was in China studying with my uncle. And this warm up is very simple, and I found that when I go to these parks in China in the morning before dawn, around 5:36 in the morning, when it's still dark, people all go to the park, and it's like the park is filled with like brim filled with people, and they're all doing different things from tai chi, gung fu, swords, fan dancing, and ballroom dancing of all things too. But before they do that, they'd all stand in the park in the dark, and they would do this one move. And I was watching them, going, oh, they're all doing the same thing. So I started doing it too. And it's just a simple bounce. And what we're going to do is just stand shoulder length apart. And we're just going to relax the top part of our body, try to find the center point. And we're just going to bounce like this and just like really, really loosen up all the parts. Try to find that center point of your spine between the hips and try to bounce evenly on your feet so you're not lifting off, but you're flat, but lift the arches slightly and the engagement is really just the thighs. So you want to relax the elbows and the wrist and the neck, and just sort of find that center point between left and right, front and back. And this is what I saw people doing in the park. And some people were doing it in crowds in a circle. The women like to gossip in the morning, so they would gossip and bounce. And other people were some people were standing in front of trees, just meditating on a tree. Uh, but it was like they were doing this all year round, even in the snow in the wintertime in Shanghai. It was snowing out, and we'd all get out there. We'd be bouncing in the dark, and when the snow was coming down, I thought that was really cool. And so I started to do that myself, and I started to incorporate it into my warm ups. I've discovered that this bounce is really actually very profound, because what it does the same thing you would do if you're walking. It moves the bowels, it moves the intestines, and the little bounce that you do, you want to feel a little jiggle going on up here, and that little jiggle is actually this feeling of motion that's going on, which is what you do when you bounce or when you're on the trampoline or anything that you're doing where you're moving. When my mom was sick before she died, she didn't move anymore. She was kind of bedladen, and so she had lots of problems with her digestion and bowel movements. So I realized that this bounce is really something very beneficial for you, and it also brings the blood to the surface of the skin without doing anything. And in fact, a simple bounce, if you do it every morning for about 5 minutes, it also warms up the whole body very gently and very. This is something you could do when you're 100 years old. My dad actually made it to 105. Uh, and it's all about walking, or not walking, but moving. My father liked to walk, so he would walk every day right up to the end. And uh, he always said that the walking was really important. And when it rained, he used to walk around in the garage in a circle. But I found this bouncing is actually a quick, almost equivalent to that. And so if you don't have time to take a long walk in the morning or during the day, you're going to be busy doing something, this is a great thing to just do. Just bounce in the morning. You can do your meditation, you can do whatever else you want to do, but just to let yourself relax into the bounce. Let's just do this for about 2, 3 minutes. Okay? So just relax into it. Breathe from the diaphragm, so you're not breathing from the chest. Nice inhale, expanding the belly, and exhale, contracting. So you just get that nice, slow, deep breath. Okay, that feels good and it kind of warms everybody up. Now, I'd like to show you one movement in the Tai Chi set, which I like, and I think people, when they do it, they enjoy it too. It's called moving hands like clouds or cloud hands. And what it is, we're doing a circle with one arm and a circle with the other arm, and we're going to bring that together into a rotating circles. So, first, I want you just to make a circle with your hand. You're standing shoulder length apart, right? And you're facing forward, relaxing. I would unlock the kneecaps so it's just not locked back. And I would try to find my feet kind of flat. I would lift the arches and spread the toes out slightly. Uh, Put the weight evenly on the balls of the feet, the rim, and the heel. And now you want to take the curve out of the lower back. So you want to just drop the sacrum slightly so it's not arching back. So it's just slightly relaxed on the back here. Open the back the shoulders slightly. Release. the arms so it's relaxed here. Elongate the neck as a string pulling up through the spine. Then gaze straight into infinity. Sort of open up the peripheral vision rather than not looking at any one thing. Just look at the whole thing, a picture, and then breathe from the diaphragm. So we'll start with the hand, just making a circle. And when you get up to about face, you turn the palm out and then just bring it back down. Just a nice little small circle here, but you're just making this circle where you're basically palm in, turning the palm out, and just drop down. You don't want to raise, you want to rotate it in a small circle. It's all relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Main thing is always to keep the shoulders relaxed. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Palm in, turn the palm out, and just drop down. Again, small circle with the elbow. Yeah, you can look at the hands as you're doing it. It's good. Guiding the hand. And when it's almost kind of covers your face. It doesn't go above, not below, but just somewhere about here. And now we're going to do them rotating. So we're going to start with the one hand coming up. And just when it gets to about 12 o'clock, this other hand starts to come up. Now, as this one drops down, this one hits about level here, 3 o'clock. And as this comes up, palm in, coming in palm out, as it starts to drop, this hand comes up. And now you're leveling out here where this hand is out and this comes in. And so now we're overlapping each other. You can look at each hand as it kind of comes into view. And now, as you're doing this overlapping action, which is just a circle going out, turning a palm out and in, and then lifting the other one up. As you turn the palm out, turn your waist slightly. So you're at an angle now, 45-degree angle. And as this comes up, turn your waist to the other angle, and 45-degree angle this way. So now, as we bend the knees slightly so we can get a nice stable stance, now you're moving your hands like clouds. We're just going to do this for just a minute or two. One more. And so that's just a little example of the flow that happens when you're doing Tai Chi. Imagine doing these in sequential movements, which I was taught, and I can share with you later if you come to class on Mondays. And you can see how this all kind of makes your body relaxed, and yet at the same time, you're actually doing something very profound for not only your body, but your internal system, and also the flow. There's a certain flow that happens to you. You have after a while you start to have more balance, agility, fluidity in the movements that you do in a daily practice. So now have a seat, and let's see. I'm almost on time. I'm kind of working here. Uh, Welcome to the New Thought Center, and thank you for coming. Uh, I want to thank Pasha for putting this together, and Margie, which is around here somewhere, or there she is. Whoops. And Kai for doing the sound, and Mia for the music. It's beautiful music. It kind of works really nice with the. I'm gonna think about doing that kind of harp music now with the Tai Chi. Uh, Let me tell you a little bit about my journey in the world of Tai Chi and what it means to me. I was born in San Francisco, Chinatown, in 1950, and my grandfather was a master in tiger style kung fu. Uh, he was in the village. He was sort of the bouncer. And if anyone had any problems, they'd go see my grandfather, and he would take care of it. You know, he was a very, very strong guy, and very stout. And so when we were kids living in Chinatown, he decided to take us all down to his actually one of our relatives, the world-renowned master YC Wong, who was the uh, who taught the Shaolin style tiger crane gung fu. And so we went down there, and he said, this is you're going to learn from this guy. And he was just a short little guy, about 5 feet tall, but he could jump up onto tabletops about this high, and he was just an amazing guy. I studied with him, the whole family, my brothers, my sisters, we all studied with him for many years as we were growing up, until I became a teenager, and I found myself in Golden Gate Park during the Summer of Love in 1967, and my life changed after that, and I ended up discovering the beach, and I saw people surfing in the ocean at Kelly's Cove under the Cliff House, and I decided to become a surfer. So surfing then became my new obsession, which I still do today, and that's why I'm in Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I love the warm water, no wetsuits, and the aloha spirit that pervades this space here. And I find that this is of all the places I've been to and traveled, I find this is the most peaceful and loving space that I can live in and feel very comfortable in. And although I made my surfing my priority, I was still fascinated with the art of self-defense. I got the bug, so I continued it throughout my life, and I studied many forms of different martial arts: Korean Hapkido from Master Bong Soo Han, uh, Japanese Aikido from Betsy, who's up in Camp Meeker over there in Northern California, and I studied judo, and eventually I returned to Chinese Yang style Tai Chi in Los Angeles with Master Kai Yun Dong when I was my other life as an animator. Then I eventually moved to San Francisco to take care of my mom, and my father decided to take his last trip to China because he was getting into his 90s, I guess, and we when I got there, we went to the village that our family's from, and it's called Toisan. And the uncle there was Master Gokgan Wong, and he was the president of the Tai Chi Academy there. And my father's, we had lunch. We were having tea in the academy there, and he said, "Well, my son, he studies Tai Chi," and my uncle said, "Oh, show me." And I was going, right now? He goes, yeah, yeah, get up and just show me right here while we, have our tea. And at that time, I knew the long form, the 108, which took like 45 minutes to do. And I'm doing this slow movement for 45 minutes while they're chatting and talking, looking over once in a while. And when I was done, he said, beautiful form, no substance. You better come here every morning at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. while you're here, and we're gonna have to show you, the correct how to do Tai Chi, and also I want to teach you the eight. So for the next, 3 weeks, I was there every morning and every afternoon at 6. That's when people did it, and then he finally, taught me the eight, uh, which is what I teach now, and where I teach in Hawaii. Uh, I think Margie mentioned earlier that something happened that I wanted to share with you, which about a month ago I came down with bacteria pneumonia, which was sudden. It was like one day I'm out surfing and everything, and the next day I have a 103-degree uh, temperature, migraine headache, pain all over my body, and breathing had trouble, and I had stomach ache. I thought I had stomach poisoning from eating at the Starbucks, uh, but I asked my doctor, and he said, "No, no, no, you got something really something. It might be liver. It might don't know what it was." So he said, "Just go to the ER." And I went to the Kona Community Center and community hospital, and the ER doctor told me that I had acute pneumonia in my right lung. And I was really surprised because I'm so healthy, and I think, how could I get sick? I'm Tai Chi master, and but anyway, I was down on I was just completely out. I could barely move, and they I had to stay 2 days in the ER because there was no room upstairs in the hospital. All the rooms were taken. And I finally got up there, and I'm in there, and I can't do anything. I'm just so weak, and they're pumping me with antibiotics, and the only thing it was actually about 3 or 4 days later when I finally got up out of the bed. The only thing I could do was the bounce. I could barely keep my balance. Thank God I could still do the bounce. So that's one thing I continued through until I got out of the hospital. Uh, and of course, I finally got home, but the doctor was when he was first diagnosing me, he was saying, a guy at your age, and this is a very strong pneumonia. I'm surprised at how you're dealing with it. And I said, well, I studied Tai Chi, and he goes, oh, that's it. It must be the Tai Chi that's making the difference here because you're recovering faster than I expect. And actually, I got to leave in about a week, and he said, keep that up. Whatever you're doing, do it because whatever is happening is your immune system is very strong. Your pulse, your even my oxygen levels, everything was fine. It was just that I was being attacked here in my lung, and it was actually in different spots. So he said if I wasn't that healthy, it would have been a much worse situation. And in fact, there was around the first or the third day, I remember I thought I was at death's door. It was things were getting really bad, and I could barely breathe, and it was painful just to inhale. And I had a couple of uh, strange, like I was sort of delirious. So I had a lot of weird dreams, and they were. Uh, well, I don't know if anyone here has taken DMT, but I I took some with Terrence McKenna, and I thought I had a DMT flashback while I was in there, and I thought I had gone, that I had left, and it wasn't coming back. And I remember the first thing I thought was, "Oh, I didn't get to say goodbye to Danya and my daughter." I was flying into some other place, and that place was this other dimension or some world where all these people were speaking some strange language, but I didn't understand what they were saying, but I was understanding what they were meaning. It was like some kind of telepathy, and they were saying, "Welcome, you finally made it back. Did you bring your stuff with you?" I was going, "What stuff?" Your tool set. The stuff you get, that stuff that you learned, the things that you brought from from where you came from. And I was going, what kind of stuff? Your epiphanies, the things that happened in your life, all that stuff. That's the stuff you need to go further with. This is your tool set now, and so you can transmute reality. And I was going, what? And anyway, all this stuff was happening, they were finally saying, finally getting that I was supposed to be reaching a point where I can transform reality, and it was through the idea that we spend our life getting these epiphanies, these moments, these miraculous things, and you got to put them all together because none of it is separate. It's all connected to something greater, and it's greater than our sort of petty mundane lives. It's something. There's a purpose we came here for. And then they said, well, your purpose is to go back and to share this idea of living without fear. So phew, I came back, and I was in the hospital. And when I woke up, I was just like, I was still vibrating. And it was like I just left some, huge 4D full screen, you know, intense drama and I went, whoa, I'm back, and I thought, wow. And then I realized, oh my God, I can relax now because I understand what this is all about and what happened, and everything's it's sort of a piece of cake now as far as I'm concerned. I mean, and whatever happens now to the end, this is great, And so I kind of a lot of load left off of me, and I felt very lighter, and very happy too. I was very exhilarated that I'm back and I can still see my daughter and everything. Anyway, that was the story I wanted to share with you, is that the Tai Chi actually improved the situation of healing through sickness, and then that epiphany of that whole you know thing, that was also something that I wanted to share with you because it had something to do with wanting to share. And then this event happened, and I thought this is a perfect time to share that. Um, Now I'll go on with Tai Chi. Uh, for those who don't know a lot about Tai Chi, Tai Chi is translated into English means the ultimate fist. But I like the metaphysical meaning, which means the man standing like a tree. This the upper half is reaching up to heaven, and the lower half is rooting down to the earth. And I like that because it sort of connects the yin and yang concept. And this also follows the principle of the yin and yang, the harmony of the opposites, the Chinese metaphysical perspective of reality. Tai Chi has been called a moving meditation, poetry in motion. It gathers the qi, which is the life force, and circulates it throughout the internal system of the body. That's how come the immune systems and everything internally is developed at a very strong. It builds it up while you're doing the Tai Chi and the Qigong. Within the Tai Chi movements contains both the material and the immaterial worlds. The material world is defined by its boundaries. Acquiring them brings a sense of control and power, self empowerment. The spirit world is defined by its presence beyond space and time and knows no boundaries. It is everywhere, all at once, and is the mystery that cannot be known. We live in this world of duality, on one side filled with boundaries and limitations, and the other side is pure energy knowing no bounds. To find balance in one's life, one must find their own natural center within themselves to begin the journey to reach peace of mind, body, and spirit. One way to find your natural authenticity of being is to practice Tai Chi. Tai Chi was developed by monks of the Shaolin Temple in China sometime in the 17th century. Prior to that, which goes all the way back to the 5th century, the Shaolin Temple martial arts were based on a concept of hard style, following the movements of animals like the tiger, the dragon, and it's an external system that requires you to break bricks, withstand physical, hardships, people pounding you with, everything, and you just become really hard, and you're able to fight and become a warrior. But then in the 17th century, Tai Chi was developed. And it was a new idea to focus on the internal system of the body, a martial art based on softness and flowing with one's chi to neutralize any aggression without force. So this new idea, Tai Chi, was developed into different families. Uh, Tai Chi was considered the highest level of the martial arts, combining the physical and the spiritual worlds to bring peace within and out and a non-violent system. These monks developed and refined Tai Chi for hundreds of years, for many generations, passing down their knowledge and techniques, eventually traveling out of China, across the planet everywhere, and arriving here today in the New Thought Center. I don't really focus on the self-defense aspects of Tai Chi, uh, but rather the health and spiritual benefits that it brings the practitioner long life and vitality. Tai Chi can help you find your natural, authentic self by merging the physical movements and the circulation of Qi to flow and strengthen your internal system. As you practice Tai Chi, you will naturally be able to defend yourself by staying centered when any aggression appears. And all the moves that you're learning are self defense moves, all the things, even the cloud hands are actually a sense of blocking. But you do it without any force. You begin to, and when you do this, you find a flow with your body and mind, and something miraculous happens. You begin a relationship with your chi, your pure essence that can transform energy to matter with your intention and will. That's where that whole little DMT experience happened. Um, and I got that. I think that we spend a lot of time in our life with this amazing energy, but we don't really have a sense of really how to control it, or it just seems to be there. Just like breathing, we don't think about breathing until we actually breathe. That's where we do meditation, so that we can think about the things that we naturally do. And this energy that we have, what we call the chi in Chinese, uh, it's like the Carlos Castaneda luminous egg. It's this energy that's just, it doesn't have really an edge to it. It just keeps going, but we kind of see it as this is mine. But it's really not mine. It's we. It's all the energy. It's all combined. It's like that movie Everywhere All at Once. You know, I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Um, it it's something that you get in touch with when you focus on it, when you meditate on it. So when you're doing qigong, you're thinking about your qi. You're thinking about how it moves through the earth, through your body, and how it stores itself in your dantian, which is your core. And by doing that over time, your qi begins to follow. And that's why we follow with the hands, with our eyes. We begin that simple process with first the body and the movement, and then eventually the chi starts to move in accordance to the way the body is moving. And these monks got this thing down. I mean, hundreds of years of practice and refining that us practitioners now we can follow the movements, and the chi begins to move. It begins to flow with you, and that's where I see that Tai Chi is an alchemical process in finding your own flow with your body and mind, and it's a lifelong journey of learning to flow through life without fear and stress, and to bring peace and joy into your mind and heart. There's an ancient Chinese saying, uh, "Be still as a mountain, move like a great river." Being still as a mountain is finding your center, where the chi resides. And in this stillness of the mountain is where you find the peace of mind. Is where you find tranquility. Move like a great river. That is initiating the flow of chi through your body. And as you move, it moves all at once. So when you're doing tai chi, you're not just moving the arm or moving the head, but you move the whole body, everything from the feet all the way out to the fingertips and your head. Everything is moving all together. And when you learn to do that, you start to see there's a flow with everything. Nothing in Tai Chi is strenuous, and nothing in Tai Chi requires any kind of special strength. It's just whatever you move around, what the natural movements that we do, turning the waist, moving the arms, and through that we built a kind of a sequential movement that actually is very powerful. Actually, self-defense powerful too. um, Once you discover your flow and move in balance, you can bring the principle into your life and live in grace and letting go of all your fears and anxiety of not knowing what will happen next. When you no longer have fear as an unconscious obstacle in life, a huge burden will lift off your shoulders, and you can begin to truly be your authentic natural self and embrace the mystery of life with love and trust that everything is in perfect timing. We're not, everything is, whatever happens, it's happening in perfect timing. It's how you deal with it, and can you have the right perspective in it. I hope that you will look into Tai Chi and how it can benefit you. And my class is on Monday nights here from 4:30 to 5:30. And I have some more information on the wall over there. I mean, table. I am graced with all the gifts that life has given me, and to share Tai Chi with you today. And mahalo, thank you. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Anybody? Okay, well, then I thank you for letting me speak, and maybe I'll see some of you tomorrow. Mahalo.
Really appreciate that. We enjoyed that movement, and I really think it's important for us to recognize what you're saying about the immune system and the health, because from I've taken I took a Zen class years ago, and the instructor talked about being in China and watching, looking at apartment buildings that had balconies and seeing every single balcony have a person on there doing the Tai Chi. And he said it was a remarkable experience. So the energy that I think Western medicine is just now beginning to recognize is very important. I think that humankind has a chance to um, appreciate life and be more aware of what's important. And this is a means of bringing people together to uh, be together in a social environment, but also something that is a, a health benefit, which sometimes we get tired of hearing all of that. Oh, yeah, I know I'm supposed to eat right, and I know I'm supposed to exercise. This brings that to us, and the energy. So now we are going to allow everyone to help us with our offering, and we would appreciate Mia giving us some more music. We're going to pass our koa bowl, and we want to continue having more of these services. And now we're ready for announcements. And I think we have two people are going to be doing announcements. Mia, if you would like to share with us, she has some things over here on the table that she has done, some art that is ready for us to purchase.
Yes, over on the far end to the left of the table, I brought some jewelry that I'd love for you to come and look at. It's blessing bracelets, all different types of gems and jewels, and then there's sacred geometry also, and so pendants for EMF protection, even though there's nothing to fear, of course. But anyway, so yeah, so thank you. This has been such a delight. I appreciate everyone here so much, and it's been pure grace. It's been so magical coming over and being with all of you bright lights and earth angels. And I appreciate you all so much. So I'd love to give you a little mandala sticker also, just for fun. And so if you meet me there afterwards, that would be super cool. I'd love to meet you each individually. Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you. And Janan, if you, yes, yes.
I just thought of it now. On April 29th, the end of this month, on Saturday at the old airport, uh, Master Chi, which is another Tai Chi master, is holding the World Tai Chi Day. It starts at 10 a.m. and all the schools, all the Tai Chi schools are going to be up there. I'm going to be up there, and we're going to do Tai Chi exactly at 10 o'clock. What's interesting about World Tai Chi is that every place that has it, every hour in the time zone, all the way around the planet, everybody's doing Tai Chi. Like, well, of course, there's nobody in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but when you get to California at 10 o'clock in the morning, all the schools lined up on that Pacific Standard Time are all going to do Tai Chi at 10 o'clock. I was in LA many years ago, and it was at the Rose Bowl, and there was hundreds of people, hundreds. It was they had to use a gun to fire it at 10 o'clock, so everybody knows that was the time. And it was like a sea of people doing Tai Chi quietly in this huge, Rose Bowl parking lot, or the sort of green area. And later on, I did it in other places. But if you want to see different kinds of Tai Chi, there's martial arts, very hardcore combat Tai Chi. There are these guys, and then there's people that do the swords, and I think Master Chi does the fan dance, and I'll do the eight. But that's Saturday, 29th of April. If you happen to be there at 10 o'clock, come and join us and enjoy and take a look around.
That's at the old
Old
airport.
airport at the very end, all the way at the north end. That's my announcement. And
Okay,
of course, tomorrow night.
thank you. And like I mentioned before, us, us people, well, we do the Tai Chi with Janan on Monday afternoon. For anybody that wants to see Tai Chi, look at him, not necessarily the rest of us. But we don't hear him complaining, say, no. Oh. He does calmly, no, but now turn this way, which helps. So we appreciate it. It's really a great class from 4:30 to 5:30. And we are going to go to dinner up at the Chinese restaurant right up the hill. Uh, how many people would like to go? So, in case we need to call and reserve a place to eat. Okay, just as we will be getting everything closed down, and then we'll be going to do that. The next 3 Sundays we have Zion, Sakshi Zion, the supreme importance of the Gnostic Gospels. That's on the 23rd. And he's also going to be giving us music, which he's done that before, and we've really enjoyed it. On the 30th is Dreaming Bear. His program, he does program and music, and his program is going to be Radical Reenchantment. On the 7th of May, Kuma Ching is going to do program and music. So 3 weeks in a row, we're going to have the speaker as the musician also, and he's doing Leo Hawaii in a Hawaiian voice. We have a book sale and a surprise book sale and fundraiser. Uh, Shana, would you like to say anything about it? And it's over here also. Thank you, Shana. So she's stating that the books are 75 to 80% off, and all of the proceeds go to the center. So we might be a little late getting to lunch. If we're looking at Mia's, yes, let's say that won't get away from here until 12. We have jewelry to look at, Mia's artwork, and our surprise book sale. We have, besides the Tai Chi classes on Monday, we have on Wednesday 10 to 11 yoga with Jeanette, and that is $10 to $15 per class. Janan's Tai Chi is $15 per class. Then at the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month, we have a produce giveaway. This one's going to be on April 30th. On May 7th, we have Crystal Bowl meditation from 9 to 9:30, and there is just a donation to the center. We do need volunteers for Sunday services, greeters, setup, cleanup, and we appreciate the fact that we have Patty Wall with the lay ministers. We're going to need potluck help. So you can let anyone know that you would be glad to do that. Our mailing list, you can sign the guest book or go to our website. And I do want to tell Kai, thank you for our having our sound system going, and Pasha also getting the set up for our center being on YouTube, and it will be edited and be on it Monday after 12. I think will be the time. Okay, it's available from now at this time until Monday unedited, and Monday at 12 it's edited. So you might want to wait. We're going to have our song. We can all stand now and hold hands, which we hadn't been for a while. Thank you very